Round the World Lit Audio. The Ramayana, retold from Valmiki. Episode 5. Sundara Kanda, Hanuman in Lanka. Channel Intro. Welcome to Around the World Lit Audio, the greatest stories ever told, from every corner of the world, in English. New chapter every week, free to listen. Chapter Recap. In Episode 4, Rama and Lakshmana traveled south, and formed an alliance with the monkey king Sugriva by fire. Rama killed Vali from concealment and restored Sugriva's kingdom. Sugriva sent millions of vanaras, in all for directions to search for Sita. They found nothing. The army reached the southern ocean and stopped. Lanka was across the water and no ordinary vanara could cross it. Then Jambavan turned to Hanuman. Do you not know what you can do? You are the son of the wind. Hanuman grew to mountain size at the ocean's edge and leapt. Episode 5. Sundara Kanda, the beautiful chapter. Hanuman in Lanka. Sundara Kanda, the beautiful chapter. Lanka was beautiful. This is the first thing Hanuman saw when he landed on the shore, not the enemy city, not the fortress of the demon king, but a city of extraordinary beauty, of white buildings and wide streets, and gardens, and the specific quality of a place that has been built by someone of great power and great aesthetic sense, without consideration of cost. Ravana was, among other things, a builder. Hanuman stood on the mountain above Lanka and looked at it. In the last light of the evening, he thought, this is where she is. Somewhere in this beautiful terrible city, Sita is waiting. He shrank himself. This was one of his capabilities. The same power that had allowed him to grow to mountain size at the ocean's edge could be reversed, could compress him to the size of a cat, invisible in the dark streets of an enemy city. He became small. He waited for night. He entered Lanka. He moved through the city in the dark with the specific caution of someone who knows he is in enemy territory, and knows that being found would end the mission before it was completed. Lanka was guarded by demons of every variety, by the Rakshasa warriors who served Ravana, by the general atmosphere of a city that belongs to someone of enormous power and knows it. He searched the palace, the great palace of Ravana, room by room, corridor by corridor, with the methodical thoroughness of someone who has been given a task and will complete it. He saw Ravana sleeping in his inner chambers, enormous, magnificent even in sleep, the 10 heads at rest, the 20 arms still. He saw the women of Ravana's court, beautiful, asleep, draped across cushions and each other with the careless grace of people for whom beauty is the primary medium of existence. He did not find Sita there. He searched further. He found the Ashoka grove. The Ashoka grove was a garden within the palace walls, a place of flowers and shade trees, and the specific quality of a garden that has been created with great care, where every plant has been chosen and placed with attention. It was a beautiful place to be imprisoned. Sita was there. She was sitting at the base of a tree. She was thin, thinner than she had been, with the specific thinness of someone who has been not eating because grief has made eating seem irrelevant. She was dressed in a single cloth, not the fine clothes of Ayodhya, not the simple but dignified garments of the forest years, but one plain cloth, worn and dirty. Her hair was undressed. She had not adorned herself since the day of her abduction, had refused all the ornaments and garments that Ravana had offered her. She was surrounded by Rakshasi guards, female demons who watched her with the mixture of sympathy and cruelty that jailers sometimes develop toward prisoners they have been watching for a long time. Hanuman watched from the tree above. He watched for a long time, watched her sitting, watched the guards, watched the quality of her presence, which was the presence of someone who has decided to endure what cannot be changed and has found in the endurance a form of dignity that nothing external can take away. She was a prisoner. She was not defeated. Ravana came. He came to the Ashoka grove with the specific approach of a man who has tried everything, and has not given up, who has threatened and pleaded and offered, and been refused and has come back again because the wanting does not stop. He stood before Sita and said all the things he had said before. I am the greatest king in the 3 worlds. I have conquered gods and demons. You would be my chief queen. You would have everything. Why do you persist in this? Sita said, you are a thief. You took me by deceit when my husband and his brother were not present. Rama is coming. Whatever you have done cannot be undone, and whatever happens to you will happen because of what you chose. Ravana left. The Rakshasi guards surrounded her again. Some of them threatened her. One of them, an older demoness named Trijata, told the others to stop, that she had dreamed of Ravana's destruction, and that it was coming and that harming Sita would add to their punishment when it did. Sita thought about dying. She thought about it in the specific way of someone who has been in an impossible situation for a long time, and has begun to calculate the ways out of it. She thought, perhaps I am wrong. Perhaps Rama could not find me. Perhaps the only thing left is to end it. And then she heard a voice. The voice came from the tree above her. It was a voice speaking of Rama, speaking of his birth, his nature, his exile, his love for her, His search. The voice described Rama with the specific knowledge of someone who had been with him, who knew him, who could describe the exact quality of his grief and his determination. She looked up. Hanuman descended from the tree. He was in his small form, the size of a cat, not threatening, not the mountain-sized figure who had crossed the ocean. He sat before her with the humility of a messenger, and the devotion of someone who has traveled a great distance for this moment. He said, I am Hanuman, servant of Rama. He sent me to find you. He is alive and he loves you, and he is coming. She looked at him. She said, how do I know you are not a demon in disguise? Ravana can change his form. You might be him. He said, look at this. He gave her the ring. Rama's ring. Rama had given it to Hanuman before the leap, had given it as proof, as the thing that only Sita would recognize as genuinely his. She held it in her hands, and looked at it, and her face changed in the way that faces change, when the worst that has been imagined turns out not to be true, when hope returns after hope has been abandoned. She wept. She said, tell me about him. Tell me everything. Hanuman told her. He told her about the forest and the alliance, and the vanaras and the army and the search, and the ocean and the leap and everything that had happened since the day the golden deer had led Rama away. He told it with the specific love of someone who loves the person they are describing, and cannot help that love showing in the telling. She said, tell him I am alive. Tell him where I am. Tell him I am waiting. She said, tell him the name he used to call me in the forest. Tell him Sita says to hurry. Hanuman said, I will tell him everything. She said, go safely. He said, before I go, is there anything I can do here while I am already in Lanka? She thought about this. She said, go safely. Come back with Rama. He bowed. He left the Ashoka grove. And then he did not go directly back. He was Hanuman, son of the wind, and he had crossed an ocean and found Sita and delivered his message, and he had one more thing to do. He made himself large. He walked through the Ashoka grove, destroying it, not the tree where Sita sat, not the ground around her, but the rest of it, the beautiful ornamental garden of Ravana's palace, demolished methodically, deliberately, as a message. The guards came. He fought them. He was captured eventually by Ravana's son Indrajit, who used the Brahmastra, a divine weapon of such power that Hanuman could not resist it without insulting the weapon itself, which he was not willing to do. He was captured and bound, and brought before Ravana. Ravana looked at him. He said, you are the monkey who crossed the ocean and entered my city, and destroyed my garden. Hanuman said, I am the messenger of Rama. I came to find Sita, and to tell you what is coming. An army is assembled across the ocean. My master is coming to take back what is his. Return Sita now and you may avoid what is coming. This is the message. Ravana said, kill him. His advisor said, you cannot kill a messenger. It is against Dharma. Ravana thought. He said, set his tail on fire. They wrapped Hanuman's tail in cloth soaked in oil and set it alight. Hanuman, whose tail was as supernaturally capable as the rest of him, expanded it so the cloth could not wind tight enough to prevent blood flow, and felt the fire burn without being harmed by it. He broke free. He leapt through Lanka with his burning tail, landing on rooftops and towers, and where his tail landed the fire spread, through the palace buildings, through the treasury, through the towers of Ravana's great fortress, through the city of Lanka. Lanka burned. Then he remembered, Sita was in Lanka. He went back to the Ashoka grove. Sita was unharmed, protected by her own purity and by the devotion of Trijata and by the specific grace of Rama's name, which Sita had been repeating in her mind since the day of her abduction. He quenched his tail in the ocean. He stood at the shore. He leapt back across the water toward the waiting army. He landed among the vanaras who had been sitting on the shore in anguish since he had left, not knowing what had happened, not knowing if he had found her, not knowing anything. He said, I found her. The army erupted. They cried with the specific joy of people who have been holding the worst possibility in their minds, and have been told it is not true, that the thing they feared has not happened, that the person they love is alive, that hope is still possible. Hanuman said, she is alive. She is in the Ashoka grove. She is waiting. She sent a message. He gave Rama Sita's message. Rama heard it. He stood very still for a moment in the way that he was still when the things that mattered most were happening. Then he said, we march. Episode transition. You have reached the end of episode 5 of the Ramayana, retold from Valmiki. Sita has been found. Lanka has been set on fire. Hanuman has returned. The army is assembled and Rama has given the order. In the final episode, the Sundara Kanda, the war chapter, the army crosses the ocean, the war begins, and Ravana meets Rama in the battle that the entire epic has been building toward since the day the golden deer appeared in the forest. Episode 6 is available next week. Subscribe to Around the World Lit Audio so you never miss a chapter. A new episode arrives every week.